What's up everyone, Yugi Masters 232 here. I'll be doing my deck profile for my Volcanics, which I ran at locals. I went 2-2 with them, but I gotta say, the matches were very close. They were just stressful. Like, when you have a deck that you've only been playing for like a week, and then it gets into the point where, like, you're in the 3-turn roll, your turn 2, your opponent's gonna be turn 3. How can you do damage enough to him in order to drop him? Now, normally what you would think is like, oh, I'm just gonna use my effect of my reload to discard a scatter shot and drop them below the life points at their end phase. Because they go so fast and just go straight to end phase thinking that they're gonna win because they've got an advantage over you. Well, it happened a few times. One person did it because he had a ulti guy Pelio and Stardust Dragon on the field, and another guy was just a Boojin player, and all I had left in my hand were 2 MSTs. I was hoping I could last it out for another turn, but I only have like 800 life points left. So I just stood right there thinking, I can't do anything. He's got 4,600 and I was turn 3. So, well, enough about my day. Into the deck profile. Now, I know the Volvo chain's banned, but the XYZs still are an important part of the deck. So I do play the Monk build. I did regret siding it out against my Boojin match. I thought that switching out these guys for Lightning Prisoning Mirrors would be a better thing. No, it was not. I lost the game because I couldn't get on my XYZs fast enough. Next, into the Volcanics, we have triple Volcanic Shell, your artillery of the deck to pay for 100 and reload, but the problem is, I've had a few games where I draw all 3 in one turn, so what sucks for me is, like, I don't even need to pay the effects, but though, I've just clogged my hands with 3 cards that I would only need, like, 1 of. Then, what I play, I'm looking to bump this up to 2, because of Rocket being able to grab this out of the trap out of the grave. I'm thinking of running 2 Doomfires, but I only play 1 at the moment. What I like about him is he's not just an out to towers. I mean, I've got another out to towers, but that's my extra deck. Now, what I really do like about him is he can do a great combo. So, like, say you discard your shell, you get your draw, it's him. You send your trap, you summon him, then you banish your trap, send your scatter shots, 1,500 points of damage. Direct your opponent. Also, with scatter shot, the effects could have been skipped over if the timing was right, and it all depends on what deck you're playing against. Sorry about that. But what I also like about him is if your opponent doesn't know his effect where he forces your opponent's monsters that are in attack position to hit him first. Let's say your opponent's has to swing in with their thinks that their 19 beater is going to slap into my and cross out. Well, I had Vanities on field. I had Rocket. He thought he was going to slap out my Rocket and then get rid of the Vanities, but what he doesn't know is that Doomfire forces him to attack into it, which is the cool thing, so I didn't have to lose the Vanities. Sorry about that again. Next, I run triple Volcanic Counter. Now, I'm kind of basing my deck off of the guy who went 10-0 at YC. I forgot which YCS it was. He was 10-0 with Volcanics. But that was when the Volvo chain was still legal. Vanities was at 3. And a few other things. I mean, he only made like 2 of the spell Magic Planter. But also, since Blaster got banned, I bumped up the counters to 2 because I need another out to say if I can't do Scattershot, oh, I can't return these guys during my turn because I don't play Jar of Avarice yet. I mean, I still need to afford one. But, he's another out. So, like, what I would do is make sure I got all 3 in grave, and then I would crash into my opponent's monster with something weak enough so that, let's say, they've got a 3,000 monster, and I can take, the 25. So, I crash into it with Scattershot, remove, 7,500 points of damage burnt out. Now, if they've already taken damage before, I'm pretty sure that I would kill them. And besides, if this into the graveyard after the attack, this would also trigger its burn effect. Next is triple Volcanic Scattershot, my fun card of the deck. Basically, let's say that every 2 turns you're going to see this thing getting dumped by me. Like, everyone who I played against, I at least dumped it on them once. That I enjoyed. Next is your Trap Searcher, or your 3 Volcanic Rocket. What I like about him is that he can plus you so much. I mean, not do you just grab it from the deck, you can also grab it out of your graveyard. So let's say you Magic Planter it, because you don't have anything you can discard for it in hand. What you do is Magic Planter, you draw your 2, you summon a rocket, get it back from the graveyard, hoping that you've got something else. Or you search one from your deck, leaving the one engraved if you couldn't draw into a scatter shot and you haven't used it. Next is your triple Royal Frostum card. Now this card I mostly just use to like throw back in my triple scatter shots and maybe a shell after I pay for its effect. But it's a fun card to play around with. That does it for the monsters. I think that's like 15, 20 monsters I wasn't really counting. Onto the spells, I play triple Magic Planter. Now mostly you use this to like dump off a reload if you don't really have anything to ditch for it, or you have a dead Fiendish Chain because they overlaid with it, or you can do some special summoning plays with Monk and you don't want to because you would have to then like MST it, but no, you can plus off of it instead of just MSTing it. Next is triple Pot of Duality. Now this is kind of like a double-edged sword. You can either normal summon your Monk and ditch this for it, or you can play it, and regretfully I did, and got 2 wildfires and two summon a wildfire and 2 summoner monks flipped up, which oh man, did that burn me in the ass. But yeah, onto the other spells. 3 MST. Partially just for spot removal on the opponent's field, but also I use it to like say I need to really get into my scatter shots now. I MST my face down trap card, hoping that I can go into anything. Next for the one-ups we have Regeki, Pokemoon, and Wildfire. Now, what surprised the Ritual Beast player who I was playing against, like, he didn't know what Wildfire was. He never really knew how the Volcanics worked. I mean, he was actually thought he was actually trying to stall for time because he kept on looking at the clock and just shuffled his deck for an extended period of time, and really just stretched out his turn, even mostly just sitting there. For the last spell, we play Foolish Burial. Really wish it was any card, but oh well. Just dumping a shell into the graveyard for the 4th monster, or just to get a ready discard draw. Onto the traps, we play triple Blaze Accelerator Reload, which is fun because, let's say your opponent doesn't know what this does. They think that destroying it will just screw up your plays and just devastate you. But no, it actually can set up more plays. Because if let's say you just use the discard effect, you can still use the banish effect. Because it only says the effect of this card can only be used once per turn. So the discard effect. Next up, we have your combo drawers. And trust me, you have to be pretty damn lucky with this card. Because I haven't. You skip your draw phases, you'll get 2 cards, but if they're good, and if they're like good floodgates, say, is my Fiendish Chains, it's hard to stall. And, what surprised me is the Boojins actually beat the crap out of me, but mostly because that they harried me and used Turtle. Apparently the ruling is if they Turtle the Fiendish Chain when you activate it, it'll go to the grave, because it has no target. Next is Ring of Destruction, for 1. Bottomless Truffle, and for the last one over, Vanity's Emptiness. Now, originally I was going to play Yosenju, but I actually liked to play it when Vanities was a 3, but when I saw that Vanities was going to 1, if you even see this thing getting printed as a super, easy to get super, you know that there's something wrong. And boy, was I right. Onto the extra deck. So we play Gaga Cowboy, Maestro, and Symphony Jin. I might switch it out for Extel, but it really saved my ass in one of the game in my Ritual Beast game. Next up, Diamond Direwolf. Sorry if the video's over, let me just change the lights. Steel Swarm Roach, Karen Gorgon, Anti-Luminescent Knight, Black Ship of Corn, Abyss Dweller, never really pulled it out, Exciton Knight, never pulled it out, Emerald pulled it out twice, Draco, never did it, Crab only did it to block, Downed Magician, really the only reason that that's in there is because I used 2 Summoner Monks, Number 101, never pulled it out because couldn't get the chance to go on an XYZ. Number 103, Ragnar Zero, and Rhapsody and Berserk. Most of this I never really pulled out because of either not the right time to do it, or sorry, I'm just really tired of this. It's taking a bit long. And then we got the 1 token. I'm thinking of just replacing this with a Pokemon card. That is easy. Onto the side deck. I side double Ojama Trio. Triple Mirror Force, but those are going to become something else. Since I've seen Cosmos on the rise and I really haven't played against them, all I know is that they do a lot of things with banishing, so I'll need to pick up a few Imperial walls. Next, I side 2 Light Imprisoning Mirrors, helped against the Boojins, did not really see Satellas too much. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, did not see anything that used Dark Monsters. Triple Fairy Wind. Now, against my Boojin matchup, this would have been the better card for me to side in instead of Light Imprisoning Mirror. Because I've got Phoenix Chains, this would have really helped out a lot more than anything else. Then for the final side deck card, I play Triple Max C. Now, against the Ritual Beast player, I actually did Max C. Now, I was actually thinking about to myself something, but this is probably not going to mean anything. But if you say, like, discard 2, would you draw 2 for 1 special summon? Or, I don't know. It was just some curious thing I was thinking about. I just never took the time to ask. So, if any of you guys out there who are watching this probably know, comment in the section down there below, and I'll greatly appreciate it. Also, if you think of anything else to replace the Mirror Forces with, comment that down below. I really do need the help because I'm not too familiar with siding this deck. I mean, sure, I'd probably side out the 3 Imperial walls with my counters, because counters the only thing that banishes, everything else just dumps. Also, Vanity's Emptiness and Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos. Screw over this deck, because if it can't hit the graveyard, I can't trigger the effects. Well, thank you, and have a good night.